In this video, I would like to talk about counting principle. The most fundamental method to do counting is using a tree diagram. The multiplication rule is derived from the tree diagram. Let's take a look at this example. You are trying to buy a car. You have to select one manufacturer, one type, and one color. There are three manufacturers, Lexus, BMW, and Ford. Each manufacturer has two types of car, either a sedan or an SUV. SUV refers to sport utility vehicle. Each vehicle comes with four colors: black, white, red, and gray. How many different cars are the seller have to prepare in the parking lot? They don't know which one you will buy, so whenever you say, let's say I want to buy a Lexus, I want to buy a sedan, I want to buy a black sedan, they have to show you the car immediately. Let's say my friend wants to buy a BMW, an SUV, and the red SUV. The dealer has to show my friend the SUV immediately. So based on this selections, how many cars do they have to prepare? So first of all, let's construct a tree diagram. So how many stages do we have? There are three: manufacturer, the type, the color. So for this first stage, you have three options: Lexus, BMW, and Ford. So this is how we construct a tree diagram. So first, we draw three branches. So first one, second one, and then the third one. And then we label them. So this one is Lexus, I will use L. And then the BMW, I will use BMW. And then the Ford, you can either write the whole name or just write the first letter. So let's write the whole name, Lexus. And then for each manufacturer, there are two types, right? Either sedan or SUV. So this is either sedan or SUV. All right, let's do this for each type. So sedan, and then SUV, and then for Ford we have sedan, and then SUV. All right, for each type there are four colors: black, white, red, and gray. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have black, we have white, and then we have red, and then we have gray. So for each one we have this, but if you put all the labels up, the graph looks very tight. So let's do a few more. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So B, W, R, and G. So for each type, there are four colors: 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 So how many cars? Let's say I want to pick Lexus only. How many cars do I have? So this is how you count. All you have to do is you count the very last branch right here, this, and that. So let's make the graph look less messier. So for Lexus sedan, you have four cars, right? So there are four right here. For Lexus SUV, you have four. For BMW sedan, you have four. BMW SUV, for Ford sedan and Ford SUV, you have four options. So if you have to pick a Lexus, that means you have four different cars for the final selection. For BMW, there are four final cars. I should say four final cars for sedan and four final cars for SUV. So how many cars are there? So the answer is you have to add all the fours together. So you have 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. How many do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 4, that is equals to 24 cars. Is there another way to get the 24? What if you have 6 manufacturer, 10 types, and 20 colors? So that in that case, the tree diagram will be big. How do you calculate 24 using? Let's say you don't. Drawing a tree diagram is not allowed. You don't even know what a tree diagram is. How do you calculate the total? So to calculate the total, listen to me. So for manufacturer, and then you have to pick a type. And then you have to pick a color. How many manufacturer? 2. How many type? 2. How many colors? 4. So all you have to do is, so 3 manufacturer. All you have to do is you multiply them. So 3 times 2 times 4, that is equals to 24. So there are two ways to get the final answer. The first way is you draw a tree diagram. The second way is you use the multiplication principle. Multiplication principle means you have to list the stage. So we have 3 stages. The first one's first stage, you have to give me the name brand, and then the second stage, you have to give me the type, and then the final stage, you have to give me a color. So let's say you walk into a dealer, right? The dealer will ask you 3 questions. Number 1, give me the manufacturer that you want. Number 2, give me the types that you want. Number 3, give me the color that you want. So 1, 2, and 3, 3 stages. And then for the first stage, manufacturer, there are 3 choices. For type, there are 2 choices. For color, there are 4 choices. So all you have to do is you multiply them. So therefore, there are 24 cars. So this is by the multiplication principle. Multiplication principle. Let's take a look at another example. You are trying to buy a drink from a concession stand. The stand sells soda, lemonade, and iced tea. So there are 3 options, right? And then each drink has 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. And then you have option to choose either regular ice or light ice. How many drinks can be made? So for example, I can pick a soda, I can pick a small size and a regular ice, or I can pick a lemonade, large size, and light ice. All right, how many options? So let's start with the tree diagram. So we have soda, lemonade, and iced tea. Okay, so we have a soda, and then lemonade, and then iced tea. And then for each drink, I have 3 sizes: small, medium, large, right? Small, medium, large, small, medium, large. So small, medium, large for each drink. And then for each size, it can be either regular or light. So it can be either regular or light, like ice. So for each size, I can have either regular or light. So how many regular and light, how many copies of this? So how many copy of this do we have? So let's find out. So let's complete the drawing. So we have 2, 2, 2, and 2. So for each size, there are 2 ice level, either regular or light. So how many 2s do we have? So we have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, right? So how many? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 copies of 2. So that means all we have to do is we multiply them. So the first stage, you have to select the drink. And then the second stage, you have to select the size. And the last stage, you have to select the ice level. So the first stage, you have 3. And then the second stage, you have 3. And then the last stage, you have 2. So you have 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. So this is using the multiplication principle. If you do this, you are using the multiplication principle. So multiplication principle. And then what about the tree diagram? So if you want to do the tree diagram, you will do the adding, right? So 2 plus 2 plus 2. And then plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So the first 3 copies of 2, they are for soda. And then the second 3 copies of 2, they are for lemonade. And then the last 3 copies of 2, they are for iced tea. So let's add them. So how many copies of 2 do you have? You have 9 copies of 2. So 2, you have 9 copies of that. The total is equals to 18. All right, so that is how you use the tree diagram to find the answer. And which method is better? So at the very beginning, so let's say you don't know how to count it all, I suggest you to start with the tree diagram. After you understand the tree diagram, just forget about the tree diagram, use the fundamental method, because if the problem is large, then you are not able to do the tree diagram anymore. So how large is large? Let me show you the next one. So the tree diagram is helpful when you want to see a big pictures of the problem. However, it is difficult to draw a tree diagram when the problem is big. So for example, for the car problems, so you have 10 manufacturers. And then for each manufacturer, you have 5 types of vehicle. For each vehicle, there are 20 exterior color. And then followed by that, you have 9 interior colors. So after I finish reading this problem, I don't even want to try the tree diagram method. So what is the best? Not the tree diagram, just use the multiplication principle. So first of all, you have to select a manufacturer. Then you have how many? There are 20, right? And then for each manufacturer, there are 5 types. And then for each vehicle, so now you know your manufacturer and then you know your type. And then the next one you have to pick is you have to pick the exterior color, which is 20. The very first one, I said 10, but I wrote 20. Okay, so we have 10 manufacturer, and then 5 types, and then 20 exterior, and then 9 interior. So what is the total? 10 times 5 times 20 times 9. The answer is they have to prepare 9,000 cars in the parking lot. So this is using the multiplication principle, the most convenient method, multiplication principle. So let's generalize the multiplication principle. So for the multiplication principle, so let's say you want to make a series of selections, and then there are k steps, just like this car. So the first step, you have to pick a manufacturer. So this is K1. And then the second step, you have to pick a type, K2. And then the third step, you have to pick an exterior color. The last step, you have to pick an interior color. So there are 4 steps. And then what is the total? The total is you have to multiply all the options together. So for K step, each step has n ways to do it. So for the first step, we have n ways to do it. The second step, we have n2 ways to do it. The third step, we have n3 ways to do it. The fourth step, we have n4 ways to do it, and then so on and so forth until you reach to the k. And then what is the total? So the total is equals to n1 times n2 times n3 times n4 times n5, and then you keep on going until you reach to n to the k. So let's say you are making a series of decisions right now. So the first decision, there are 20 selections. It doesn't matter what the subject is. You are making a series of decisions. So you are doing a job right now. You want to make a series of decisions. So the first decision, you have 20 options, and then the second option, you have 10. Let's do the words. The first step, you have 20 selections. So N1, you have 20 selections, and then the second steps, you have 10 selections, and then the third steps, you have 99 selections, and then the fourth step, you have 100 selections, and then the fifth step, you have 155 selections. So what is the total? The total is, just multiply them. So this one, you take 20 times 10 times 99 times 100 times 155. Yes, you're right. Multiplication principle, just multiply all of them. And then whatever the answer equals to, that is the total. All right, so let's do a few more problems. I have 2 more problems for you. So the first one is, you are creating a 4-course meal. There are 3 distinct appetizers, 4 distinct entrees, 8 distinct desserts, and 10 distinct drinks. You pick one of each. How many 4 courses meal can be created? So this is what's happening. So you have appetizer, and then entree, and then dessert, and then drink. I am making a series of decisions consisting 4 steps. So the first step is appetizer. So there are 3 selections. Entrees, 4. Desserts, 8. Drinks, 10. What's the total? The total is, all you have to do is you multiply them. So 3 times 4 times 8 times 10. So 3 times 4 times 8 times 10. The total is equals to 960 meals. How about number 2? You flip a fair coin. So fair coin means the coin is not manipulated. So no one is cheating. The coin is not manipulated. Each result is either a head or a tail. How many different possible outcomes? So it can be all 8 heads, or 8 tails, maybe 7 heads and 1 tail, 4 heads and 4 tails, so on and so forth. So what's the total? The total is, the first coin, there are 2 outcomes, either head or tail. The second coin, 2 outcomes, head or tail. The third coin, 2 outcomes, head or tail. The fourth coin, 2 outcomes, head or tail. So for every coin, you have 2 outcomes and you have to multiply 8 copies of 2. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another way to write this in a more compact form is 2 raised to the 8th power. That is equals to 256 outcomes. This one, it is very difficult and time consuming if you want to construct a tree diagram. So what if I want to see the tree diagram anyway? All right, then let's make the problem smaller. So let's say you have 2 coins. In this case, we can make the problem smaller. So this one, we can draw a tree diagram. So the first coin is either, so you have first coin and then a second coin. So the first coin is either head or tail. The second coin is either head or tail. So this will be 2 times 2 equals to 4 using the multiplication principle. What about a tree diagram? So this is the first toss. So you have a head or tail. So you can call H1 T1. And then the second toss, it can be a head or tail. And then for the first tail, the second toss can be either a head or tail, right? So how many options do you have? So if you follow this pattern, if you follow the H, so that means you will have an H, 2 heads. And then H1, T2, so that will be HT, right? And then you can have TH and then a TT. So how many? So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the total is equals to 4 using a tree diagram. Alright, so that is the end of this video. If you think my instruction is helpful and clear, give me a like, share the video for me, subscribe to my channel if you're on your way out. Appreciate for your help and support. See you all in the next one. Signing off for now.